Hey everyone, welcome back to the People Stack by Offered. I'm Aarti, and joining me today is Raj from OFFRD, who handles, all things customer success. Raj, glad you could jump in for this one.
Thanks, Aarti. Super excited. I mean, this topic is sort of the backbone for HR teams right now, especially with fraud risk, Aadhaar, and PN. They're really central to onboarding in India.
Yeah, and it's not just boring paperwork issue, right? These documents tie into tax, KYC, benefits, EPF, ESI, basically the whole kit and caboodle. But let's be honest, there are candidates trying to game the system, sometimes handing over PN or Aadhaar cards that don't even belong to them.
Absolutely. If it happens, it's real impersonation. It's like you show up, offer a fake PAN, and if that goes undetected, the employer's also on the hook. If you get caught, there's potential jail time, fines under the Aadhaar Act, Income Tax Act, and even criminal charges.
Right, and sometimes founders or HR don't realize it's not just the employee who's at risk. If you even seem like you're ignoring due diligence, it can blow back on the company. There's that rule where you have to report Aadhaar misuse to UIDAI within 72 hours, or you could be seen as complicit.
Imagine an HR onboarding a candidate whose PAN, when verified, doesn't show up in government records. With OFAD, that kind of mismatch would get flagged before payroll is set up. Catching it early could save the company from potential tax trouble, including penalties of rupees 10,000 under income tax rules or even deeper audits.
Oh wow, honestly. I think sometimes people assume it's just paperwork, but it can become a problem very fast. All right, so that's the real, legal, scary side of document fraud. But what exactly is the employer supposed to do when they spot suspect documents?
So, first for PAN, it's not optional. You gotta verify it for TDS and payroll. Otherwise, you risk bigger deductions or compliance penalties. Aadhaar, meanwhile, isn't legally forced on private employers, but it's everywhere. EPF, ESI, all that. So, even if it's not in the law, most HR folks request it anyway.
Exactly, but say you actually spot fraud, what's the step-by-step for an HR manager or founder? Like you see a mismatch, what next?
First thing, straight up, pause everything. Don't let the onboarding, salary setup, or benefits, nothing move ahead until it's checked. Get all your paperwork clean, make a record of what looked fishy, keep evidence.
And then, it's report time. You need to file a police complaint if it's clear impersonation, right? Register an FIR under IPC, and if it's Aadhaar, there's this ticking clock. You've got 72 hours to tell UIDAI. For PAN, inform the income tax guys, especially if payroll was even remotely started. It's a fast chain of events you can't ignore.
Yeah, and if it turns out the docs were fake, you pretty much have to either terminate the person or pull back the offer. No soft exit, The risk just isn't worth it.
You know, Raj, one thing I keep hearing from HR heads, especially in startups, how do we actually keep up with all of these legal steps? Manual checks just don't scale. Like, how do you catch fake Aadhaar at hiring or even before?
Yeah, and there's compulsion to move fast. But if you rush and it goes wrong, the consequences are worse. Honestly, manual is too slow and easy to hack. Luckily, tools like OFFRD.co automate big chunks of this verification, so HR doesn't need to run behind every single PAN and Aadhaar check themselves.
Let's dig into that a little because tech makes such a difference. OFFRD and other onboarding platforms, they sort of bake Aadhaar and PAN verification right into the HR flow. It's almost invisible, but suddenly you've got everything encrypted, and if something's off, the system tells you before you've even crossed the halfway onboarding mark.
Yeah, and not just basic checks either, like scanning the Aadhaar QR code for authenticity or uploading the eKYC file or verifying PAN through NSDL or income tax site. All that can happen behind the scenes. The platform can also ask for a second ID, maybe passport or voter ID. and cross-check for consistency. Makes life much easier and way more compliant.
And I think the other piece is about auditability, right? If a regulator or auditor visits, you can show exactly when and how a document was checked, what was flagged, and how it got resolved. It's no longer, we think we checked, it's, here's the log.
Yes, absolutely.
That's proactive defense. It just proves how much better it is to catch these things upfront. And actually, how tech frees HR teams to focus on people, not paperwork. Anyway, we'll have to get into more detail about integrated background checks next time. But this has been super useful, Raj. Thanks for sharing these insights.
Anytime, Aarti. Always a pleasure. Thanks to everyone for tuning in and sticking with us till the end. If you've got questions or want to hear more on tackling HR risk, let us know.
Yeah, we're here every week talking about real HR problems for Indian startups and SMEs, so don't miss the next episode. Raj, see you soon.
Take care, Aarti. Bye, everyone.